Morning. I wasn't expecting to be up here today because I thought, got a cold, I'm going to be really self-indulgent and just like spend the day pootling around at home and doing bits and pieces, but I looked at the weather forecast. Yeah, I couldn't miss today, could I? It wasn't an option. So I had to drag myself out of the house and get up here, and I've got to say I do feel a lot better for it. You know, it's always the case, isn't it? And actually the sun's out, it's gorgeous, it's a beautiful day, and I'm up here actually filming a little segment about compost for a collaboration video that Kate and Eli's kitchen garden have set up. So I've just been nattering on to myself about compost for the last 10 minutes or so. Not sure about this new piece of jewellery I'm wearing. I look like a severed head. Nice. But seems we're up here, we may as well do something. And the thing I'm going to do is, because the sun's out, I'm going to open up the Polytunnel and have a look inside at what's going on to that. We've had a couple of really dip temperature nights recently, like well below freezing. And I suspect that, you know, I left a couple of peppers and one of the tomatoes in there. I suspect they are kaput. So I will open that up, take them out, check everything's all right in there, and then close it back down again so it can, you know, beef up with a bit of heat. And because we've had those couple of dip nights, the nasturtiums are completely blown, so I'm just going to rake all of them up and throw them into the compost heap. Yeah, and then pick something for lunch. Right, well, I've cracked the door open already this morning and managed to break my piece of Velcro across here, so I have to restaple that. Well done, Jessie. The peppers are very ready to come out of here. Look at the poor things, limp as anything. They are gone, completely gone. Oh, somebody in the comments the other day was asking me if I'd grown lemongrass before. That's my lemongrass in that pot there. I need to take it home, really. I think it's going to be a bit cold for it in here. But everything that's meant to be still okay in here is still okay. I've left a couple of these peppers on, actually, which is a bit of a shame. But parsley, and look at the colour of that. In this winter sunshine, it's just so bright and so beautiful. Same with the pink mizuna. It's just stunning. Absolutely lovely. So I left a couple of these on here and they've gone a bit soft, obviously, because of the frost. So I'm going to have to eat them either today or tomorrow or something, because they just won't keep. Tomato plant are well and truly gone. Yeah, it was pretty cold. Look at that. -3.4. It'd be interesting to see what the temperature's like in the greenhouse, actually, with the bubble wrap, because they normally get to roughly the same sort of temperature. Just before I crack on, I'm wearing an extremely attractive outfit today. I'll just have, you know, dungarees hanging around, and also I've got my new thermal underwear on, so I am toasty warm.
sorry, it's very bright. I'll use my massive hat to eclipse the sun. One of the things I often forget about during the winter is the watering of things that are undercover. Everything is so damp and wet that it kind of slips my mind that they're not being rained on. So while I've got this door open, I'll go get some water.
Job number 2 is to clear away the nasturtiums. They have finally collapsed. They lasted ages this year, and I've been really reluctant to take them out and just like hurl them in the compost because they still had flowers, but they have properly gone now. I find clearing the nasturtiums away actually really satisfying because they all kind of just completely collapse at the same time. They just go really flat and they don't have particularly deep roots or anything, so you can just kind of like rake them all together and there's this enormous tangled mess of collapsed foliage. Yeah, I really like nasturtiums in general actually. And when you've left them go this long, when you're kind of raking them up, any seeds that are left over attached to the plants will just fall off and scatter and then be ready for next year. Nasturtium seedlings are one of those things that I really do start to look for in the spring because I'm obviously putting this whole lot just straight into the compost and there's still going to be seeds attached to it. We do get quite a lot of nasturtiums coming up in the compost, but that's really nice. I tend to let them get to about sort of 3 inches, that sort of size, before I transplant them, and then I just take them out of wherever they are that I don't want them and dot them around the edges of the beds, and then that's my next year's load of nasturtiums. And every year I tend to kind of introduce one extra variety, something a bit fancy, and then they intermingle with the rest of them, and the next year I get kind of a bit of that style nasturtium appearing in all the rest of them. It's really lovely. So when I'm sowing an actual variety, obviously I sow them into pots or whatever in the greenhouse and then plant them out, but I always find that the self-seeded ones are just so much stronger, so it's the following year that they really come into their own, and then you just end up with this enormous plethora and huge diversity in all the different self-seeded ones with all these little bits of the named varieties that you've bought over the years, and it's a joy. It is a joy. I threw 3 new varieties into the mix last year, which was an orange one that's a bit ruffly called Salmon Baby, which turned out to be really, really gorgeous. It's like a peachy salmon rather than the really startling orange that the nasturtiums normally are. And I also did one called Summer Carousel, which was actually a mixture of pink and yellow. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what sort of weird hybrids I get next year of this lot. I tell you what, it's not that early and the sun's been on them and we've still got frost on the lettuce. Cool. I'm interested to see what temperature this bubble palace has got to compared to the Polytunnel, because they're roughly about the same normally. And what was the Polytunnel? About -3. This is, look at that, not even in the minus, nearly 4 degrees difference, or more than 4 degrees difference. These chaps are appreciating it, I think. Are you appreciating it, chaps?
Oh yes, it's toasty warm in here.
I don't think lettuces actually sound like that. I hope they don't.
Okay, that's us done. Home to sit in front of the fire, I think.
Actually, it's not going to be go home and sit in front of the fire, because I've just realised the time, and I'm due up in town in about an hour and a half. So it is quickly rush home, scrape the dirt out from under my fingernails and head off. I'm going up to meet Lauren, who you already know. We went to Ireland with Lauren. And last week I was asking about things that people wanted me to include more in the vlog next year, and one of them was a few more trips. And although this isn't garden related, and I will be doing a lot more garden related trips next year, I am going to one of my absolute favourite pubs in, well, I would say in London, but actually in the whole world. So I thought you might like to come as well. Good old Waterloo Station. I've spent a lot of time in Waterloo Station. I used to have a workshop just about 5 minutes walk from here. But these two platforms, like this one I've just got off, is brand new. This used to be the Eurostar tunnel bit that went to France, and that now goes from St Pancras. So these have just been turned into 2 new platforms. Right, we're going to head for the river. Oh, I'm not very good at walking sideways down the steps. Hold on a sec.
It's a lot more difficult with headphones on. Whew. Okay, we just got to nip over the river.
God, so much has changed around here in the last couple of years. Yeah, it used to be just one massive shell building here. That's all gone, been replaced. So we're just heading straight towards the South Bank at the moment. So we've got the South Bank Centre, and that's the Hayward Gallery with the little blue pyramids on top. And just along this little bit of the riverfront, we've got the National Theatre, the British Film Institute, obviously the Hayward Gallery, like we've just gone past. Hayward Gallery was actually the last gallery I went to before everything closed down. But yeah, if you carry on going east from here, actually east and west from here, either side, you've got Tate Britain and the Tate Modern, just along the riverfront here. And they've always got something going on. At the moment, I'm assuming they'll have a Christmas fair. It's all looking very festive. Actually, to be fair, they have lights here all year round. It's not just for Christmas. But we are going to be going up this staircase and over the bridge, eastern side of the Golden Jubilee Bridge. Oh, yep, there's the Christmas fair under there, obligatory. Actually, I'm just going to concentrate going up these stairs so I don't fall on my face. As you can see, I haven't changed from being at the allotment. Very glamorous. So this is one of the Golden Jubilee bridges. In the centre is the Hungerford Bridge, which is a railway bridge. Obviously, we're going over the Thames from Waterloo side to Charing Cross side. There is the beautiful Thames, looking lovely. Hungerford Bridge is a railway bridge, and there is a footbridge, the Golden Jubilee bridges, on either side of it, heading straight into Charing Cross station. And looking out that way, we're looking across South Bank.
Sorry.
And this is, oh God, there's so few skateboards here. This used to be piled with dead skateboards when they snap. Because just along the side over here, I wonder if I can zoom in and see it. Can you see the skateboarders along there? There's a big skate park there. I say big, it's tiny. There's a skate park along there. And when the boards break or when something disastrous happens, a board comes and lands here. But there used to be masses of them. I guess they must have tidied it up. Looking across, we're looking east now. There is, can you see St Paul's? And looking across to Bank and Cannon Street. Oh, they like a shiny building over there. Welcome to north of the river. So, top of this road, if you veer west, you're hitting straight into Trafalgar Square, which is where the National Gallery is, and obviously Nelson's Column, and all that shebang. Some big lions are there as well. But we are going to be heading towards Covent Garden and the Strand. But right here on the left is somewhere that I really want to take you. Today's not the day, but there's a place called Gordon's Wine Bar, which is excellent. We will go one day. We will. Oh, we're hitting some right tourist spots tonight. I present you the Savoy, complete with fake topiary cats. Very tasteful.
It's actually quite warm.
Just hitting the theatre district here. God, I feel like a knock-off cheap version of John Rogers.
I should be giving you more of a tour, but I'm actually running late. So we might have to do this another time. Let's get to the pub.
Ooh, Somerset House is looking festive. They've obviously got something going on. Christmas tree. Sometimes they have skating down there, like ice skating in the winter. Maybe that's what's happening. Royal Courts of Justice. Nice bit of Gothic revival. Right, we are now on the Strand, and the pub we're looking for is not easily found. There's just a lantern to show you where it is. Okie dokie, that's the one. The Old Cheshire Cheese. Take a sharp left down this alleyway, which is a fantastically named wine office court. Perfect. So straight up here, and we have the Old Cheshire Cheese, which was rebuilt after the Fire of London in 1667. Let's go in. Lauren's already in here, so hopefully she's just behind this door. Oh, there she be. So this is a pretty awkward pub to film in, as you may have guessed. That's why I'm holding you so close, sorry. But I will take you on a bit of a tour because, I mean, it's like a little rabbit warren. I'm just coming down from the loo. So upstairs we've got all like private rooms that you can rent, and there's loads of different levels, and this is a nightmare pub to meet anybody in because you can just never find them. Hence Lauren was standing right behind the door when I came in. So there's loads of little bits and places. This is the bar that you come into, so they've got a huge roaring fire, which is nice at this time of year. Through there's another bar, but Lauren and I are sitting down underneath here. But all the ceilings are a little bit low. Mind your head. Sorry. Don't fall down the stairs, Jessie. And then you've got various tables and bits and pieces down here. So we're underground now. Lauren is sitting there looking glam. And then there is another bar down the bottom here. So all together there's 4 bars, all on different levels, all inside this space. Fantastic. She's a pimp.
We've got a trip and throwing. Get like money for that. That would be great.
250 quid a go, that is.
Next time.
I'm heading back to Waterloo over Waterloo Bridge, which is a massive concrete lump. And sometimes it's called the Ladies' Bridge because it was built during the Second World War and most of the men were absent, being called up for war, and it was almost entirely built by women.
Let's go home. Good morning. We are not actually up here to do very much today. I am still Coldy McColdface and Mum is Hop Along Sally because now my feet are all right. She's hurt her back. So yeah, we're basically like swapping around. Dad hurt his knee in the meantime, so as my feet kind of came up, Dad's knee hurt and then his knee started getting fixed and now Mum's leg hurts. It's just like we're doing this in the house at the moment with who can get up the stairs slowest. But I'm still coughing and spluttering. It's not COVID. I feel like I should wear a big, like a t-shirt that says not COVID, because like I was in Boots yesterday buying some Lemsips and this poor lady, I had my mask on and everything, but I was coughing and the poor lady behind me was having a heart attack. She was just desperate to get as far away from me as she possibly could. But it's not COVID. But anyway, we're up here. We're not going to be up here very long today. It's really, really soggy. So as we're like walking on the grass, it's just like ruining the paths basically. But what we are up here for is festiveness, because it is now December. And normally I don't start getting festive until like Christmas is upon us basically, and then I realise I haven't bought any Christmas presents and it's all last minute stuff. But this year I'm feeling pretty festive, and it is actually only the 4th of December. But we have a Christmas wreath that goes on the door, you know, like the round sort that goes on the front door. And I made it about 10 years ago. It was made of like fresh pine and it had some lotus flowers on it, I think, something like that. But I made it such a long time ago, but it's kind of dried out. It dried out on the door, and then we've just been using it every year since, and I just kind of put a few bits in to make it a bit more exciting every year. And so we're just up here at the moment to pick some bits to go in the wreath, and then we'll go home and put that on the door, and then it's officially Christmasing time. Yeah, that's what time it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go and find some bits and pieces. The girlies are also feeling very festive. We've been having a look at what sort of treats we can get them for Christmas. When we went to, do you remember we went to Charlotte's Chickens to pick up some bits and pieces for them? Oh, actually it was the morning that we got broken into, or the morning we discovered we'd been broken into. She had these like long, they were like compressed bird seed stuff, and we bought one just as a bit of a trial, and they went nuts for it.
Didn't you, girlies? Yeah, that was yum scrum, wasn't it? Mm. Yeah, so we're going to get some more of them for the girls for Christmas treats. They're coming along really, really nicely. I've had a couple of really funny comments from people asking if Ruby is actually a cockerel. She's not a cockerel, she's just bossy. Here she is. Look at that. Head straight in the tin. But no, she's the one laying an egg. She was the first one to start laying, and up until really recently she was laying. So I think that's pretty conclusive that she is a lady.
Right, so I need some secateurs and let's go snipping.
These are the seed heads from the echinacea that I picked up when I went to visit Johanna's Garden Centre. Do you remember Ripley Nurseries? That fantastic, vibrant, bright pink. Well, it's over, as you would imagine. I'm only taking half the seed pods to leave the rest of them for the birds. And actually thinking about these, I just remembered that I've got a load of poppy seed heads that I saved in the shed here. These ones, I've already taken all the seed out of them, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure I took it out earlier and I've got a bag of it, which I think I presently spilt all over the larder floor, but yeah, they're not making any rattling. No seed, no. So I'm going to take them back with me as well. Handy paper bag. This has been a life-changing event, having these paper bags at the ready. I won't need all of these for the wreath. It's not that big a wreath, but I'm going to take them home anyway because I'm probably going to make some sort of table decoration for Christmas Day at least, or at least use these poppy seed head for something because they're gorgeous. Now I just need a bit of holly and a bit of ivy.
Basket. I'll get it in a sec, yeah. Yep.
Right, before I head off, the leaves are mounting up again. They're mounting up.
Endless leaves, endless leaves.
So I went on and on about the joys of leaf mould last week. But another joy that I forgot to mention is that, you know, the bin that we're putting it in, you fill the whole bin up, it's totally packed, you've pushed it really far down, it won't go any smaller, and then you leave it for a couple of days and it's shrunk. And then you can put more leaves in. You can just put more in. It does help to weigh down the top a bit. We've got old compost bags on top of here because, well, partly for the wind, because the wind would just blow the leaves all over the paths again, which would be magnificent. But also we've got all the bags on top of there to stop them blowing away, and then we've got a big old heavy soggy piece of cardboard on top that's just kind of slowly weighing them down, make sure they don't blow away, and sort of compressing them a little bit. You don't really need to have anything to compress them. As long as they don't blow away, they do just shrink. Right, enough of that, let's head. Okay, let's try and get that wreath down from the loft because I've got a sneaking suspicion that the last time I put the ladder up, I got it caught on something and it hasn't actually latched on properly. So I think it's going to be a bit of a palaver, but let's go and find out. Okay, let's have a look how much has fallen off. It's a bit delicate after all these years. It's a little bit crumbly. So I've got limes on here and lotus flowers, bits of cinnamon, that sort of stuff. There's some old hydrangea flowers on here that really need to come off. I might put some more on. I haven't quite decided that yet. I can't believe this thing. Oh, I can't believe this thing is so old and it's still doing its jobs just fine. I mean, obviously, this was green when I made it originally, and the ribbon needs a bit of pimping because it's all crushed because it's been in a bin bag for however long it's been, 9 months, 10 months. Yeah, but let's sort this out and get it on the front door because I'm feeling festive. You coming in, Nico? Cheers, chaps. Oh, yeah. Bit of a weird week again. Bit of a weird week. I did an awful lot of leaf raking. But obviously I went on and on and on about how wonderful leaf mould is last week, and so I didn't need to say it again. So there was quite a lot of that. The Polytunnel is now completely kind of set for winter. I'm not going to be doing anything else to that. Oh, how good was the difference in temperature between the Polytunnel and the Bubble Wrap Palace? Pretty good, I think. Normally they have a bit of a discrepancy in temperature. The Polytunnel is colder, but it's normally by about 0.5 degrees, not by 4.5 degrees. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Something I've got to do this afternoon actually is print out a sheet, because currently Mum is writing down the temperatures every day, but she's writing them on like little scraps of paper, and they're just obviously going to get lost because that's what happens to little scraps of paper. She's going to print out a sheet with just like columns, so we'll start writing that down, and then hopefully by the end of the winter going into spring we'll have quite a good idea of what a difference that bubble wrap makes. Last year I thought the difference was enormous, but I didn't really have anything to go by to say
whether it was or not, because we only had a thermometer in one of the things. So we only had it in the greenhouse rather than one in the polytunnel, so I couldn't really do a comparison. But already I'm seeing a difference. So yeah, like I say, bit of a weird week. We had 2 really spectacular days weather-wise, which were the 2 days I was up there. The rest of the time it's been completely grim and grey. You know those kind of days where it feels like the sun never actually comes up? It's just like stays gloomy like the whole day, and then it gets dark again at 3 o'clock. That's what it's been like most of the week, which is a bit of a shame. But we are heading towards the solstice. So definitely cheers to that, because I am really, those long nights when it wasn't dark until 9 o'clock, how long ago does that seem? God. Then again, I think the nights that I'm thinking about are not from last summer, but the summer before, because this summer, even when we had the really long evenings, the weather was pants. So we didn't really enjoy them to the same extent we did the year before. So maybe that's why they seem like 2 years ago, because they were 2 years ago. Anyway, I was going through lists. I've got so much racking up of jobs I need to do. There was a bit of a patch where I was kind of waiting for things to happen before I could get on with anything. And now stuff has really started to go. Like the mulberry tree has lost all its leaves and I need to do a bit of a haircut for that. Actually, more than a haircut. There's things like the raspberries need to come down. I need to retrain the gooseberries. Do you remember when I put the gooseberries into the fruit cage? I sort of did a cursory sort of fan training up against the wall. Well, I let them, because it was their first year, I just let them kind of grow as much as they wanted forward, and then I'm going to reassess and chop them back and take the strongest stems from there, because they've grown phenomenally in that year. They've been in the bed where they were before for it must be at least 4 years and done very, very little. Transferred them into the fruit cage, gave them a really good feed, gave them a chop back, and I mean, they are quadruple the size. So I'm really looking forward to kind of getting them back into shape. But the biggest job that I'm totally and utterly behind with is the planning for next year. I feel like I waited and waited and waited. Like I didn't want to get overexcited in October. I didn't want to get overexcited in November. And all of a sudden it's like a week into December and I haven't got anything ready. Haven't decided what chilies I'm going to do. Am I going to sow them on the 1st of January again this year? So much to decide on. Basically got these 3 mini chests of drawers absolutely jam-packed with seed, and I just don't know what I'm growing next year. I've got some varieties in my head which are like total yes, obviously going to grow them because they're amazing, and then I've got loads of on like the periphery of stuff that I'm not quite sure. Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? Haven't done any seed ordering for the things that I've run out of. Just so much. I love this when you're just swinging from waiting for stuff to happen, and then there's like a split second where you feel on top of it and then it's gone again because now you're behind. Like it makes it exciting. It does make it exciting. So really I'm going to say cheers, and I'll see you next week. Next week's going to be packed. Oh, the other thing, do you remember right at the beginning I said that I'd been filming for a collaborative video? I will get back to you with the dates on that. It is a collaboration between, I think there's 5 of us. It's not me organising it, I'm just taking part. But I will keep you updated. It's about compost, which is what I was recording on that first day, just talking about compost. I've got a lot of editing of that piece of footage to do because you know how I can rant, and compost is a favourite subject. So yeah, it went on a bit. I think Eli was looking for a 6-minute segment. I got a little bit more than 6 minutes. So I've got to cut all that down, send that off to her, and I will let you know what's happening with that. Right, lovely. I'm going to love you and leave you. It's a cheers, and I hope the weather improves next week. I hope you are not feeling as behind in what you're supposed to be doing as I am. Cheers, chaps.